I'll be playing Forsaken Frontiers in one of the most difficult formats that I could think of so far. We are going to be doing a tunnels only run solo in nightmare mode. So we're going to see how that goes. Tunnels is currently the hardest map in the game, and as far as I know is going to continue to be one of the hardest maps or locations in the game by far. And we're going to see if it's even possible to go on a run while only going to the tunnels. And there are quite a few different obstacles that are going to be in my way, challenges that I have to face in doing something like this. The first one being the fact that I can't even afford to go here in the first place. I start off with $100 and the travel fee is $1,000. But in Forsaken Frontiers, you can go to locations that you can't afford outright. As you can see, I can go here, but at the cost of increasing my debt. I believe the debt amount is, oh, it's only tripled. So whatever the difference that you can't afford, you incur in debt 3 times. So I can't afford $900 of this fee. So I will incur a $2,700 debt by going here on day 1, which is a pretty significant amount. It is. But I'm hoping that by playing in nightmare mode, where the loot values are 1.55 times their normal loot amounts, and the fact that tunnels has the most valuable loot in the game, that will help me out. Because $3,000 should be, well, it's not going to be light work, but it's absolutely doable. The hard part is going to be that when I go here on day 2 and 3 as well, it'll still cost me an additional $3,000. So what I'm looking at, without any deaths and without having spent any of this money, I will be looking at a $2,700, $2,800 plus $3,000. I'm looking at a $5,800 starting debt for cycle 1. On top of that, when you revisit a location over and over again, the remaining value goes down. It is a set amount, I don't know it off top, but the more I go here, the less loot is going to be available on tunnels. So I'm going to have to make the absolute most out of what I collect here, so that way the next ones aren't so painful. And also, since I'm playing on nightmare mode, the difficulty starts off on hollowed, which is the middle ground difficulty, but will increase with each cycle I complete. And now that I'm saying this out loud, this is going to be a very difficult run, I think, especially since I'm playing it solo. Tunnels is not necessarily a location that you go to solo with no starting equipment, but it is what it is. And actually, it's gonna cost me quite a bit more. The first decision that I have to make is whether or not I want to buy a lantern or a glow stick, because tunnels is kind of difficult when you don't have a light source. Maybe well, I don't think I'll do that, because tunnels is really hard to navigate when you can't see. Being able to see is a really good thing. It's just whether, if I get the glow stick, that means I'll be able to save $270 of debt. Whereas, you know, if I get the lantern, I'll be paying more. I think I'll try glow stick first and then maybe lantern. I think it's going to take a couple tries. But really, we're going to see if we can complete cycle 1, and if we can complete cycle 1, if we can do anything beyond that. So yeah, that's the gist of the run. I'm going to say hi to everyone now, especially to Tato, who just raided me with a party of 16. Hello. I saw that you were streaming Forsaken Frontiers solo as well. Hope that went well. Hello, Chloro. Hi, Maylene, just got forced into your stream. Welcome in. There's a pod. Oh, okay. Lore stream, word. Fortnite stream would be super cool. I think you should do it. Then make sure you stay subscribed and primed until February 7th of 2029 when I go play with Cosmo. Hello, Kiersey. Hello, Groundsnake. And man. Yeah. I think this tunnels only run would probably be a bit more viable if I had people, but I also want to show that tunnels is playable even on nightmare mode. Maybe I'll prove that theory wrong. Most of the time when I go to tunnels solo, I'm already kitted up. You know, I already have adrenaline. Okay, well, adrenaline and lantern is really all you need. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to start with the glow stick strategy, kind of just preserve my debt a little bit. I think this will bring my debt amount above the... No, it doesn't. 10, 30. No, it does not bring it above the $6,000 threshold for cycle 1. But it will give me a bit of a light source, so I'm not navigating blind in the tunnels. I won't have any help frostbite-wise, though. Maybe that frostbite, or the frostbite mitigation will help in the longer term, but we're gonna find out the hard way. 280 cells, well, I mean, okay. In terms of Forsaken Frontiers, size does matter. The bigger the map, the less likely I am to encounter enemies at the start. I am actually gonna try playing fast first, because I'm not entirely sure what the spawns look like in hollow difficulty on tunnels. By the time I come here, well actually, in endless mode, you kind of want to go to tunnels as soon as you can, because tunnels is kind of free when the spawns are pushed back as far as they are. Let's kick, let's see if there's anything here. If you're gonna kick a door, do it sooner rather than later. If enemy gets attracted to that, that's just bad luck. You can just go next or something. It's fine. So I decided to kick there. It's early enough, we could have just chalked it up to a warm-up run. Let's see. Have to drop V1400. That's kind of why I started stream. You know, if you drop V1400 right now, this will very quickly turn into a bunker-only run. Because I'm very excited for the bunker. And yeah. Gotta do whatever I gotta do. Size does matter though. You know, I think when we were doing our endless high cycle run, we were getting kind of shafted by the 280 cell map sizes, and then when the game updated mid-run and the max size was increased to 480, we encountered enemies a lot later in the run, or we were less likely to encounter them in the beginning, and that was kind of nice. So size does matter. It probably matters less in solo because, you know, you're only one person, so you're only going to be able to cover a certain amount of the map anyway. But still, imagine having an even bigger map that will never be, or that still decreases your chances of encountering enemies and also increases your chances of finding loot. I have unfortunately dead-ended myself going that way. Shoutouts Dead End. I think going here would have been better progress-wise, but we're here anyway. I haven't played Forsaken Frontiers in a little bit, so this might end up being chalked up to a warm-up run at some point. But I'm gonna play a little bit fast. I'm trying to outpace my glow stick and also outpace enemy spawns. Cause I don't know what times enemies spawn on hollow difficulty in tunnels. I just have a feeling that it's not as bad as it's gonna be when I go to Condemned in the next cycle or Forsaken after that. Definitely not as bad as Forsaken. So if there's a time to play aggressively, it's this cycle. Especially with how much I need to get. I might as well play aggressively and go for broke. Because I will not be able to do that as easily the longer the game goes on, or the farther I make it into the cycle, or into the run or whatever. You know that the lantern is worse than the glow stick because the lantern makes sound when you toggle it on and off. Worse than the glow stick? I actually think while enemies still can't attack you when you're using equipment under a desk, that the lantern is stronger. Because if you are playing in a multiplayer game and you are just holding an enemy hostage by flicking your lantern on and off, since they can't hit you anyway, that's going to be really strong, because now your whole team can loot while you are just holding an enemy hostage for free. So until that gets patched out in V1400, that if you are playing on tunnels, or if you're just playing in a group setting in general, then you have a lantern, abuse the hell out of it. Because unless there's like some reason why that's super hard to take out, I can't see that staying in the game for much longer. I thought it was something you could only really do with the pager and flashlight, but now that I know that the lantern makes noise too, if it does, then I will absolutely be doing that. Well, actually, most of the time when I play tunnels, I'm usually the generator guy, so I guess I won't really have that opportunity. And if I am holding somebody hostage, it's going to be at the train station, and I'm not entirely sure how good of a strategy that is specifically. I'm starting to realize that I'm going to need a lot of money here, and I'm still not finding progress. This is unfortunate. Where did you come from? Oh god. Okay, well. Welcome in, chocolate. That's a reset for sure, because I cannot goose egg here. But it is fine. I think glow stick was fine. I didn't really struggle with frostbite there. I think I just have to move a bit faster and be a bit luckier. Very audible enemy. To be fair, I did hear the butcher coming. Unfortunate that the spider happened to be there also. Wonder if looting early is good or not in this kind of run. The reason why I'm doing it anyway though is because as soon as I have enough, I guess, I don't want to run out and then be like, okay, this is where I stop, and I should, if I loot backwards, I should have enough now. I should loot enough first and then start making my way back, I think. What number would I be happy with here though? Let's do some math. How much would I have to collect if I didn't want to incur debt on day 2 and 3? So I'd have to sell at 60%. Okay, getting slightly unlucky here. But that's fine. I'm not expecting to get this on the first try. Butcher completely drowns it out. Admittedly, I definitely did not hear the spider coming. But let's look at what my audio level is at. No, I have my enemy ones up pretty high. I actually turned down a lot of other things so I can hear enemies better. Currently left hugging, and it is not doing me any okay, well, here's a favor. I considered doing this on endless difficulty, since, you know, endless would be quite a bit easier. Well, okay, endless would be easier as far as, like, enemies go, since tunnels on unbroken difficulty is comically easy. Like, you would think that Nightmare would be the more viable one with the 1.55 loot values, which I think is still true if you do it multiplayer. But if you're running it solo, endless is probably the way to go. But if I can do it on Nightmare, then I think that would be way more sick, which is why I'm here. I also don't have a crazy amount of time to play today, so I came to reset Central for tonight's session. Hello, Harmonica. Sometimes it's just actually completely silent. I think that has something to do with like Unity's sound limitations. Something, which is why V1312 had reduced a lot of the available sounds or whatever. I know Melina was talking about it at some point. I wish I could explain that better. I thought that, you know, the elevators making less sound was part of like the non-essential noises that was removed, but I guess that's a bug that's actually just gonna get fixed next patch. Because that was the first one that I really noticed. I was like, oh dang, elevator real quiet. But no, that's a bug. That was not intentional. Okay, I'm gonna have to start kicking doors. Oh hey, I actually have a decent amount here. No Ventress from that. The unfortunate part is I need a fire barrel soon. Why is this door open? Why is this door open? Why is this door open? what to do here. Do I leave now? 3380? Oh my. Might be in my best interest to start making my way back. Just so I can, well, I'm very interested to see when the Ventress spawns actually. Let's grab this real quick. Wait, this way. My bad. Yep, this way. Shout out to everyone who knows their tile orientation. If you don't know your tile orientation, go check out the guide that I put out on YouTube. Shout outs to Berkeley Mail for putting me on game. Changed my Forsaken Frontiers experience greatly. Now that I can navigate pretty comfortably. I hear doors opening. Shoot. Uh-oh. I think there's a spider near me. Can't afford to stop there. $36.80? I mean, we outpaced this. We're gonna have to see what I can get on 84%. 2208. As soon as tile orientation gets randomized, professionals are about to suffer. If tile orientation gets removed, you just go back to left hug, right hug. You just have to be really, really good about it. Left hug, right hug's still a way to get back. Tile orientation just helps me not think about whether or not I was left hugging or right hugging. Because as someone who switches between them depending on who I'm playing with, it sometimes gets difficult to remember which one I'm doing. Or sometimes the map generation is more conducive to one or the other, and I'd rather not think about it. It does still bite me sometimes when I'm trying to progress outward into the map, if I'm not remembering which one I'm doing, because I might backtrack a few times when I shouldn't. But yeah, if tile orientation gets taken out, just left hug, right hug. Standard map navigation stuff. Pretty sure devs are keeping orientation. I would not mind that. I know that both Maylene and Dio have told me to like stay wary, especially now that I've put out a guide for it. They like making content that's put out about the game outdated. But that is a good thing. That means that updates are being put out for the game. And honestly, putting out updates that can outdate content is a lot harder than putting out guides going over it. So that is a good complaint to have. Like if I have to keep remaking my stuff, then so be it. That just means I get to do the same thing twice and get away with it. So shoutouts Made in Fairyland. Shoutouts Maylene and at other developers. Let's always find a way to keep track. Exactly. Start streaming when I'm about to go to bed. I almost didn't stream today. I almost didn't. But I have a few hours to kill. Infinite money glitch. Keep making new tutorials for every update. I'm saying. It's not a problem for me. Okay, let's go. 84% tunnels. Before I go on a 40-minute yap session in the train. Okay. So I was pretty safe running early. Seems like... Okay, I'm gonna right hook, I guess. I guess how safe I am depends on where the Butcher spawns on this map. You know, Butcher has a minimum distance that it can spawn. Because it does spawn instantly, so whether or not you see the Butcher early or later really depends on your RNG with the Butcher room spawn. I see some people say like Butcher spawns a little too close to the train, but I wouldn't mind that in this case because that just means the Butcher room is nearby and Butcher room has so much good loot. I just kind of run past the Butcher and loot the butcher room as early as possible, while there's still like almost no enemies on the map. That's probably the safest way I can loot the butcher room here. So it's probably something I should be looking for. Cause man, if I get early butcher room on like Forsaken difficulty, then I'm probably cooked. But hopefully, you know, if I even do reach Forsaken difficulty in this run, that I will at least be somewhat geared up. You know, I can have Lantern, I can have an Adrenaline. You know, the two bread and butters of Tunnels gameplay. Honestly, I'd say the Adrenaline's a bit more useful than anything. Just being able to pick yourself back up and not lose a run immediately is such crazy value. Here. I get, you know, I said if you kick a door, kick it early. I see orange light here. Maybe there's a fire. Yes. And then there's a loot room down there as well. The one with the two rooms. The one dead end room on the left, and then the room with maybe progress on the right. Yep. Maybe another fire barrel on the other side of this. Yep. That's not just tile orientation, that's tile recognition. Tile orientation begins with tile recognition. 9 o'clock, it's still early enough to kick. Another fire barrel, that's cool. And this is why I bought the glow stick. I feel like if you're moving fast enough and you're not unlucky, you should be able to find enough fire barrels. Because if you're unlucky, you know, a lot of times maybe the lantern will eventually help you, but it's like you can get there fast enough if you're just running. 2,000. I might do like one more. Okay, no, we go back. I think I have enough. That's why. For a proof of concept, complete cycle 1, I have enough. Is it enough to go crazy far? Probably not. But that's not the goal, right? The goal, I said the goal was complete cycle 1. Let's show that it's possible first. And then we go from there. Because last time I had the spider spawn behind me, so I kind of want to get some equipment before I'm forced to go a bit deeper. Good thing that I saw these on the way back, because I somehow didn't see them on the way in. I didn't clock when the spider spawned in. But I guess when I go to like condemned difficulty, it's gonna be even sooner. Let me get a score, like I've said many times, get a score up on the board first and then try to improve from there. Probably one of the better ways to go about things. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I'm not going the right way. Okay, I'm good now. Cool. Go this way. Gotta make sure I don't use all my stamina. Because if the spider comes here, I'm gonna need to be able to pivot. Wait. Okay. There's somewhere I gotta go, like right here. Yes. Almost didn't make it back. Like 2 a.m. Damn. It's only 6 o'clock for me right now, PM. Having the power on do anything bad? Yeah, so as SQ said, there's like doors throughout the map that are closed when the power is on, and that usually means that you can't progress through the map when those are closed. So that's why in solo I play with the power off and then just play to run back to the train, because it's not realistic to play for an elevator in solo tunnels, because oftentimes you won't be able to reach an elevator without progressing through a power door, and with the way Tunnels is currently designed, there's no way for a solo player to turn the power on and off and still progress through the map. That's why it's super important in multiplayer to have someone working the generator, and whether or not how you make that efficient use of your time with someone on the generator is up to the team, really. We've usually done it where like the generator person loots the first 3 rooms in every branch and then goes back and plays generator for the rest of the day. I personally, after like doing that for our endless high cycle run, which was like a 21-hour run where we completed, I think, a $15 million debt in endless, I actually think that the generator person should, I actually think everyone should go out for for most of it. And if you don't find an elevator by a certain time, you just run back. Because you don't really need to take an elevator until way later in the day anyway. So having one person in the back, both not looting and not helping another player out, I think is an inefficiency. It does, however, give you insurance, because if your generator person never dies, then your run will never be completely lost. Because you just have your generator person sit on the generator with an adrenaline with a guaranteed amount of loot. But the thing is, most of the time we would come back with a negative amount. So it was more just like damage mitigation rather than a net positive. But I think with a fully competent squad, everyone should be out there for most of the day. And then come back later, and then whoever is back can start doing generator. But that's something that we learned after the run, or after we doing a bunch of practice. Never played tunnels and running hospital. Didn't feel tunnels worth the risk. I think that's what we did at first too, but I actually think tunnels is absolutely worth the risk. The problem is you can't greed tunnels as much as you can greed hospital. So I think that's kind of like a mentality or just strategy shift that we need to take when going to tunnels. Especially when tunnels is surplus. Like, there's really no reason that we shouldn't be coming back with money. I remember in our endless run, we had people coming back with like $7,000 on tunnels endless. Now, if you can show me that you can come back with $7,000 on hospital in a multiplayer run where there's 6 people, and one of those people comes back with 7,000 on hospital, then I think we can talk. But I think coming back with a $7,000 bag on endless tunnels is actually insane. I mean, tunnels is a lot harder of a map than hospital, so it makes sense that current success rates aren't crazy high, especially, you know, it has a high cost to go in the first place. And it plays a lot differently than hospital. I think hospital is kind of free. Tunnels is not, you have to earn it. Attempt a tunnels challenge with power always on. I don't think that'll be as interesting as a solo. I don't even think I'll be able to complete cycle 1. Only reason I say that is because when tunnels first came out, I tried doing tunnels escape solo, and you really can't go that far for the most part. It's just not even, like, this run will be over in 15 minutes. I think this run already is an RNG based enough, but there's actually like a point of doing it too. But hey, if anyone else wants to do it, because that's not a run that I'll do, if anyone else wants to, they're more than welcome to. We got bigger tunnels, by the way. I think I have enough. Yeah, I have enough. But I kind of want to get more, because the loot value is only going to get worse and worse here unless I roll a surplus. So I'm hoping to roll a surplus. That's all that's going to keep this run going. I could I could just pull the train, do a bit of stop and go type deal. I'm not going to do that though. What the hell is generation? Pardon me. So apparently there's a clipping strategy on tunnels where you can clip through the wall and teleport back to the train. I thought SQ do it once, but I wasn't paying a crazy amount of attention. But that is absolutely patched out in V1400. But if you know, you know. You can intentionally clip out of the... It's not even a tunnels exclusive thing. You can kind of clip out of the map, I think on every map. And if you do that, you'll teleport all the way back to the train. I'm not the person to look to figure out how to do that though. What the fuck? Where am I supposed to go? Excuse me? Huh? Oh, okay. Wait. I think RNG is fun in terms of where enemies are gonna spawn on the map. I don't think RNG is fun as far as like the possibility of actually executing and like making a run happen, if that makes sense. Ooh, let's see if I can. Well, I guess I said if I'm gonna kick early. We'll see what the devs end up doing. The reason why, you know, you teleport back to the train in the first place is because... Okay. I guess I could outplay this. No, I think we just go. It's fine. I said get on the board first, Austin. Let's get on the board first. And then I can come back with adrenaline and stuff. I'll probably have to go into debt again anyway, but... Oh, well, I mean, I couldn't buy the adrenaline on sale, but... 8,000. We're gonna get unlocked tunnels. Just a $5,800 debt off rip. Alright, next goal, pay off $1 million in debt this run. I could just potentially complete a few cycles here, I think. Well, no, I can't because I have to pay money. We'll buy an adrenaline now, so at least I feel a little bit safe. Because I do have to go a little bit far now. The question is, how hard do I kit up here? I can afford to go here all 3 days and have $400 left over. And I only need to make 700. Maybe we leave it at that when we go. 58% on condemned difficulty though. Ooh, I might want to upgrade to a lantern now, I think, because I might need to play a little bit slower. Or faster, and then I think I'll buy a stun light. We're gonna kit up. We're gonna kit up. Why not? Bolt cutter might be interesting too. But I can't buy a bolt cutter and not go into debt. At the same time, who cares? The question is, do I buy a sledgehammer instead, though? I feel like I should know what condemned difficulty looks like on tunnels. I'm a little worried what I'm gonna encounter here. I think... Oh wait, no, it's unlocked, so I don't buy bolt cutters yet. Definitely not. Not today. Thank you, positive modifiers. 480, by the way. So, max size tunnels. But it's 58% loot value. So... car battery immediately, you know? 58% loot value doesn't matter as long as I roll high on the specific loot that I grab. You might see me play... Oh, it's kind of tough. Do I play slow here and potentially not loot a bunch because of the 58% loot value, or do I play fast and aggro enemies to me? But that's why I have the stun light. It doesn't work against the spider, but it works against literally everything else. Namely, I'm gonna need it for the Ventress. Especially if I go down a hallway like that and don't have anything to work with. I just can't get insta-popped. So I'm kind of playing around that as well. You can kind of have the sunlight out and loot like this. Because you'll never like trigger it from looting unless, you know, you're misclicking. but you'll also have it ready in case an enemy pops up. Kind of greeting for a fire barrel here. If I'm unlucky here, I'm not going to be lucky for the rest of the run anyway. Shit. Okay, I have to start running back. Yeah, if I get surplus, then surplus will be nice. Okay. I don't know if that's... I don't know how worth the risk this generation is. I feel like single map challenge runs are just about how much money you can gain in the first 3 days. Exactly. That's precisely what we're doing here. But it's unlocked. Oh, whatever. We roll for surplus. I think that's really the play. I didn't expect... Well, I mean, I guess this isn't the first try. This is the second try, because I died on the very first day. But I can do a couple cycles here. No, because I have to pay to go here. I keep forgetting that part. I won't do Pentagon either, because, you know, I said tunnels only, so... Pentagon-less tunnels only. Okay, so this, for the person who asked about the power doors... See, look, this is one of the power doors. I literally cannot progress here without turning this off. So there's a bunch of those throughout the map. And it's just not likely to go on a run if those are there. And there's a lot of them. Pentagon only run. It's basically just see how much I can get in one day. I guess you could exploit and just keep going to Pentagon. I think there's a Pentagon exploit right now. So I've seen that people can go back to Pentagon multiple times. I don't know how much I want to showcase exploits yet. If I happen to find one during the run and I think it's funny, then, you know, that's cool, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to show some. I'm pretty sure Maylene's aware of the Pentagon one too, since it's a known one. Bro, I need some fire barrels, please. If I don't find any at the end of this hallway, I'm cooked. Yeah, I have to go back. Damn. I might be cooked anyway. I might have to adrenaline here. Especially if I go the wrong way. I'm adrenaline. No. Well, that sucks so bad. I could have just played safe. I died to frostbite. I can't really afford anything here, so I have to get at least 640 bucks here. Which probably isn't likely. I think what I'll do is I'll try this again on Endless right after this. I have time to kind of show the differences, but... Damn, that was the lantern and an adrenaline too. But, you know, I greeted, and that's kind of the cost of greed. But it's not like my chances were gonna get any better. I do have to greed hard here, though. Like, if I have to keep going, because I can't afford to run back. Don't be a dead end. Need a fire barrel. Need a fire barrel. Then I can start looting backwards. Please have one right here on the left. Let's go. 450. Let's fully recover here. Depending on what I get here, I might be able to get enough, but that was not good tunnels loot, unfortunately. 626. Oh wait, I have enough. Okay. Let's go complete this cycle for proof of concept and then go to endless. Because I don't think I'm gonna... Unless I get surplus. If I get surplus, then I keep going. Shit, I think that's in front of me. Bro, I cannot afford to wait here for you. I don't know where she went, but I'm not dying yet. Okay, we somehow make it back. We actually can just play out the whole cycle. Why not? Early for Ventress? Not really. That's just tunnels on condemned difficulty. She's gonna spawn in even earlier now. But damn, could have made it farther if I didn't die on the second cycle, unfortunately. That's rough. 31%. I'm gonna go into debt here. This isn't really gonna be very productive, I don't think. Ooh, I should have bought equipment with the 370. I think it would have been worth doing because I could just roll for before surplus. That's kind of what we're hoping for here. And if I die with this glow stick, then I'm cooked. So. We are on Forsaken difficulty though. This is probably like the worst combo we can get. Forsaken difficulty with very low loot value. We're gonna see what we can do with this. Because if I don't play tunnels in these conditions, who else will? See what I mean? I said earlier, door kick is a guaranteed Ventress spawn. Proof of concept right there. Okay. Shoot. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I can't sit here. I need a door. Butcher is down here too. No. Yeah. That was tough. I was hoping for progress on the other end of that. Got to catch a Forsaken Frontier stream. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. I am doing a bit of a weird run today. Tunnels only on nightmare mode. I died though during cycle 2, so this run's a little cooked. But I'm playing it out just in case I get a surplus, I can bail me out here. But we're gonna, now that I don't have a glow stick or any equipment, we're gonna see exactly why I think the glow stick is worth it. I do get Shadow Step here. 26% remaining value though. But let's see if I can navigate the tunnels blind. I haven't tried doing it since I learned tile orientation stuff. Thanks for the follow, Zimbo Gamer. Let's see if there's enough light here to actually play it with no light assistance. I mean, I'm getting barrels here, kind of assist with the lighting. I don't think it's going to be realistic for me to complete this cycle though, unless I get a surplus. So maybe I just get an amount that can kit me out at 75% instead of try to get enough to help meet the debt amount. That might be the strategy here. I'm actually getting quite a few lit tiles here. So navigating isn't so bad yet. But it could get worse. Is there progress this way? There is. Question is whether or not I'm going to be able to recognize tiles in the dark like this. Seems like I'm not. Oh wait, it's right here. Maybe there's a way in this side? Yeah. As far as loot goes though, I mean it's 26% remaining loot value, so... Go here. No, we do not get the lockers there either. I think it's going to be a nightmare. I get it. Nightmare navigating back to the train like this. We're gonna have to make do. 388. What's 75% of 388? Anyone can tell me. Or 75% of 400, I guess. That would be like 25 or 225 bucks or something. Oh, hello. There's no barrel in here. I'm dead. Unless I find a fire barrel, like, right now. Wait, no. Oh, this is a good loot room, too. Let's see what... Let's loot it in. See how much we would have had if we came back. 674? That would have been good. Rip. There's no shot I make it back. I should have, I guess, greeted for a barrel instead, because I know I'm guaranteed to not make it back by running. Oh, hello. JK. We run this way now. I already ran this way, it seems. Okay, we run all the way back then. Oh, we're already all the way back. Oh, word. Okay. Surplus. Let's get a surplus. Right? I somehow made it back. I'm not expecting that. 74 fog. That's just straight up not possible. I'm gonna have to get like 5,000 here. If I am to get 5,000 on a 21% tunnels day, what loadout do I have to bring? I think we just bring the same loadout that I had earlier and hope for the best. It's actually gonna be... I'm gonna have to earn more in this one day than I did the entire run. 1,400... Okay, I basically need to get like $5,000 on a 21% foggy tunnels. Word! Let's do it. Damn, it gets that low this fast, huh? Maybe Endless isn't gonna be as great either, then. It's a little too late in the night to... I'm kicking. I have to. I think I could have bought, like, bolt cutters, too. Holy crap. I cannot see. Wait. Oh, it does make sound. Okay. You know, for some reason I just did not know that. Butcher room's right here, though. No, okay, damn it. That didn't work. I did not want to use 2 stuns here, but I kind of have to do what I gotta do. This is not- I did not find the butcher room, that's unfortunate. I'm also not finding a fire barrel. Dude. I'm gonna die to frostbite again. Unless? Huh? What was that? Why didn't it go off? Why did it go off? It just... okay. Well. Made it to day 9. Yeah, it just disappeared. That's unfortunate. The thing is, what they're saying is that when you make noise under the cover and they didn't detect you, you can continue to make noise under there and they won't get you. That's what I did with the... because he didn't see me go under there, but I flickered the lantern on and off, and he heard the noise, he triggered to it, but he didn't attack me. You can do the same thing with the flashlight, but I learned today that lantern also makes noise turning it on and off. I kind of want to go one more time, actually. I kind of want to see if I can make it past day 10. Because I just died early there. I think we'll try Lantern start this time. The Lantern will just have good or better value long term. What does that bring us up to? 29.2? Cool. This time, well, I mean, I did just kind of play hold shift W the whole time last time, but I think we're gonna do that even harder this time. Because I'm gonna want to cover a lot of ground if possible. Oh, it's good to see loot again. Yup. The loot room, potentially fire barrel on the left. Yep. Hit this real quick. Keep going. Might as well make use of it. What is? Well, I mean, the spider stopped me last time. Do have to be wary of that still. Kind of waiting till I get this not spawned broken, because that tends to have a decent amount of loot on it too. That shelving. Almost $2,000 before 8 a.m. Damn, dead end sucks. Already went that way. Yeah, I just kind of have to backtrack here, unfortunately. This is a good fire barrel because you can stay warm in a hidden spot. It's also next to a door. Very strong one. Maybe there's progress this way. Nice. Ooh. Not a big fan of that gear object. I think it's only worth $2. Eesh. This is why tile orientation matters. I think it's very easy to get lost in a setup like this if you don't know what... you don't have some sort of guidance. on how to navigate this. Oh my. Kind of unlucky there. Dead end as well. We can go this way still. I don't think I did. No, I did. Lots of Y tiles chained together. As in, why are you like this? Slight greed, slight greed. If there's a day to greed, it's day one. Damn it. This is where the lantern comes into play. I'm pretty sure I'm dead here if I brought a glow stick instead. So... The lantern bought me just a bit more time on there. Hitting on the Ys. Hey man, I get a lot of dead ends in Y tiles. I'm kicking. I think it's still early enough. Dead end. Kinda wish those hiding spots were a bit more usable. Maybe they are, and I'm just not inclined to hide. Watch me use it. Okay, so... Hollow difficulty Ventress can spawn at least at 11 o'clock. I might have to go back. Spider Ventress is tough, and I don't have any assistance. Go left. Thank you. I did kick this door down though, unfortunately. I can kind of chill. It's not as much as I got on my first time around, but... yeah. I'm not confident playing around Spider Ventress like that. I guess there's only one way to gather that confidence, and it's to do it. Maybe adrenaline is actually just a crutch item, and it's holding people back from their true potential. I see. Hold on, wait. Branched off. Dead end. Oh, I'm gonna get got by the spider here. Shit. No, I'm not. I think we're okay. It seems like Kiersey's curses are pretty, viable and consistent. Yeah, I got less this time, but, you know. It's okay. 480. Okay, 11 o'clock is when the Ventress spawns, unless I get one earlier than 11. So I'm gonna maybe... Well, actually, I'd probably just start playing around Ventress once she pops. I don't think it makes sense to start walking at 11. That's kind of too early. Especially on this kind of run, like, you might as well just run, play aggro. Fine. The one cool thing about this room, the one with the triple hole setup, is that it will always spawn on the left behind a door that you can't see through. So if you ever run into a tile that with the door that you can't see through and it's on your left, just be wary for the whole tile. You can probably see it coming now. See, look, exact same thing. It used to be where if I'm opening a door that I can't see through, I would take that extra caution, but it's always the same door and spacing stuff too. I can kick because Ventress isn't on the map yet. I guess if tile orientation ever gets taken out, then that's not going to be as useful, but that's also the only door attached to that tile, I'm pretty sure, so you'd probably see the holes coming from a lot farther away if you entered it from any other side. Can't say I had my tunnel strats as developed on community night. But I wanted to have community night as soon as possible, so that way, you know, people could actually play the game, and have, like, people to play with. $12.94. Same thing again, door I can't see through comes up on the left, and there's a triple hole tile. Ventress is... okay, it's still not even 11 o'clock, so... This is why moving fast is really good. You can just outpace the spawns. And oh boy, if you go play Endless, where the spawns are pushed way back and sometimes not even existent, you can greed the hell out of every map in the game. Including tunnels, including hospital. Well, that's why I play Nightmare Mode. Previous Nightmare Mode, where it had double enemies, it didn't really encourage greeting like that. It encouraged playing safe and going back as soon as you saw enemies. Because double enemies is kind of difficult to deal with, but the loot was so valuable that you didn't have to deal with enemies. You just loot whatever rooms you could, and then you run back as soon as possible. And you can go real far doing that. Now, Nightmare Mode is kind of just like playing on accelerated mode. You just get to the difficulty faster. Debt scales faster. It doesn't have the double enemies anymore, but you kind of skip all of like the freebies, the free cycles. And I think that's nice. I think playing at Forsaken difficulty for most of the run is like a challenge enough. And as far as game balancing goes, you know, I don't think there has to be much that's changed for now, especially when Bunker is getting introduced as another high tier location that's supposed to be in between hospital and tunnels. And since it's going to be a high tier location, that's just going to change like the end game meta for this. So if there are to be any balances, I think it should be around when Bunker is around. I don't think there's any point in changing difficulties or balances in current version. By the way, if you guys already have the game and maybe missed the announcement, the beta, like betas for this game moving forward are going to be publicly available to anyone who owns the game. So when the beta for V1400 drops, you know, everyone will get to test it out. It's no longer behind closed doors. Previously, it was only like, you know, less than casual gamers who were beta testing this stuff, which is sometimes why the drops would be a little bit more difficult than I guess it should have been. But now that it's open, you know, public beta is open, everyone can drop their opinions on the changes before it hits the live version, and I think that's going to be real cool. I'm also excited for Bunker. Oh, that's behind me. Shit. Is there a fire here? I have to go back. I have $4,000, dude. I was not paying attention. I was just running and looting. It's a new map. No, this is tunnels. It's just it's a map that not too many people go to because it's expensive to go to, and it's the hardest map in the game currently. Damn, I didn't realize I even looted that much. This is day 2, right? Damn, son. Definitely don't want to fumble this bag. The spider could have spawned behind me, which is why I'm kind of chilling. Walk in. Yeah, Hotel's gonna get a rework at some point, but I don't think it's dropping with V1400. Did I say tunnels or hotel? I meant hotel. Trust. Hotel is getting a rework. I think it's due for one. I don't even really play Hotel, which is why the last time I played Forsaken Frontiers, we did a Metro and Hotel only run. Because really there's no real point in going to Metro or Hotel currently. It feel like, you know, or at least once you get good enough at the game, I guess, to be able to afford to go to hospital tunnels. But that's why we started playing tunnels, because if you can't play tunnels efficiently, then you're kind of forced to play hospital, hotel, or hospital and metro skip. And that's just not as profitable as being able to play tunnels well. I think like one of our best endless days on tunnel was like $5,000, but that was surplus. But we were usually only pulling like $1,000 or $2,000, which is not enough. It's just not. Compared to tunnels where we could potentially pull like 15 to 20,000 if we do it okay in one day. Might start running here shortly. Never mind, there's a fire barrel here. Metro's really chill. Metro's super chill. And I like the new Metro tile also. Super fun. Yeah, Pentagon rework is most likely coming before Hotel 1. I can't see the Hotel 1 coming before the Pentagon 1. Really looking forward to the Pentagon rework also. Speaking of Hotel though, I feel like Hotel's really hard to balance because you want it to be better than Metro, but you don't want it to be as good as Hospital. But you still also want it to be worthwhile to go to, right? Like that's a lot to ask for from a tier 2 location. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let's greed a little bit. Let's get a little 5k. We don't have to greed all that hard. I would like to take this inventory back. I don't think the rework is gonna deal with that. That's just really bad RNG, because the butcher room has a range of how far it could spawn from the train. So if you get like a close butcher, that's just really unlucky. That has nothing to do with like the Pentagon layout. That range that the butcher room spawns is just kind of something that's applicable to every map that the butcher spawns on, which is every map except hospital. And the butcher room was already pushed far enough away. That might be true, SQ, but as far as like how far that is from the train, I'm not entirely like there's a range for that. There is a butcher spawn room. There's still a butcher room on the Pentagon. But the thing is, the butcher sometimes hooks on those pig hooks, and it's not supposed to. And I guess Maylene wasn't even aware that the butcher was hooking people on there until she saw Nico get hooked on one of them in our last run, because she joined us on our last run. I know which room you're talking about though, because the butchers can currently hook people there, but that's not where they spawn. There's an actual butcher room still on the Pentagon, just like every other map. But that tile specifically is bugged, and the butcher hooks people there still. Alright, I kicked that door down for a $5 bag of chips. Worth. Oh, this one. I don't think the butcher room needs a nerf though. I think that's just a string of being unlucky. Which is why when I read people's complaints about instant butcher, I'm like, you know, that's just unlucky. That's not a thing. It's a lot less noticeable when you don't get instant butcher. My opinion, at least. And I also said it at the start of this stream, like getting an early butcher can sometimes be a good thing, because then you get a more guaranteed butcher room also. And if someone gets got by the butcher, it's a lot more likely that you'll be able to save them. Whereas when the butcher room is kind of far, if someone gets taken, then you know, you'll probably never see them. You might not ever see the butcher room that whole game, and butcher room is absolutely worth looting almost like every time, especially on the higher tier locations. If I see butcher room on tunnels and Pentagon, I am looting it. It is worth that risk. Especially in Nightmare, I might just get like 2 or 3k in one go. The thing is, like I said, the fact that the butcher can even hook on those non-butcher room tiles, that's not an intended feature. So that's getting taken out. So that, like, space between them, that's just not applicable, because there's supposed to be only one butcher room anyway. Well, I mean, there is only one butcher room, but the hooks are being treated as butcher room hooks currently. There is a minimum distance that the butcher room can spawn from the train, and it is quite a... I don't remember the exact range values, but it's actually a decent range, which is why I say, like, if you get a close butcher room, it's just unlucky. Yeah, Nightmare Surplus Tunnels butcher room, exactly. SQ gets it. You son of a bitch. Oh wait, I don't want to do that actually, because he's just going to kick it super fast. I think we can go. Let's be happy with what we have. You know, sometimes people play too greedy in life, and they get burnt or whatever. Fly close to the sun or something. Not going to melt my wax wings here today. I'm going to come home a profitable person. All price to pay for $5 chips. In this economy, absolutely. These chips must be good if the government is pricing them at $5, assuming that we are paying our debts off to the government. Okay, so overall I got more than last time. I should buy the adrenaline while it's on sale. Even if it's only a 10% sale. $6,000 debt, so I guess it was a higher debt. 3,333. I did that on purpose. Okay. We have a pretty decent start now, I'd say. I think I still get the stun light. And I will buy bolt cutters this time too. It might be, well... Condemned difficulty. We'll try it. I haven't really played bolt cutters on tunnels. But I'll give it a shot. 56% value though makes me want to think that Sledgehammer will be better, but at the same time, every time I've encountered an enemy so far, I've just ran home. So if that's how I'm gonna play, then bolt cutters is gonna be better. Like, theory is cool and all, but I have to pay attention to how I'm actually playing it for the day. I think if I was playing more aggro versus the enemies, I would consider Sledgehammer instead, but I'm not. That might be a good door to unlock, just so I have a door to play with in case the spider comes by. Because what other door do I have otherwise? I guess I have this one. This is gonna be the triple hole door, by the way. Let's do it like this. Wow. Thank you, 56%. I don't care if it's 56% so long as all the car batteries spawn next to me. Don't know how not to greed in this game. Fair enough. Greed? Well... I guess it's because this game's a bit more fair too. Like, you have a lot more potential for outplay, and whenever you die in this game, you know that it's like your fault. Lethal Company, like, sometimes you die and that's just part of like playing the game. It just has built-in bullshit. Forsaken Frontiers is kind of fair, and when you're gaming, it's like, it's kind of hard to not think, yeah, like, yeah, I'll just outplay that if that happens. I'll greed harder when I have an adrenaline. That's why sometimes I like running double adrenaline with a med kit. Because I can greed super hard, and then on my second adrenaline, that's when I'll go back. I just don't play with under the assumption that someone is going to save me. I just don't think that's a very efficient use of resources. Oh wait, maybe this does lead somewhere. But also, the fact that I play with people who greed harder than I do, that makes me play a little bit safer as well. If I reach a dead end, I know that if I run behind someone who's greeding super hard, that I'm just not gonna, like, even if I do catch up to them, the first thing that we're gonna do is turn back together. So I might as well just stay back and let them cook. I'm also just not even Lethal Company, I don't play very greedy to begin with, so I'm not inclined to greed usually. That makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I actually just never play for an elevator. Elevator is not part of my main game plan. Elevator becomes a part of my game plan if I find one. Deep. But I actually just never play for elevator intentionally. Unless, you know, it's like, I absolutely have to, or else we will fail meeting the debt. But I have tile orientation and that timing in the back of my head at all times. The one enemy that I can't. Okay. Yeah, as soon as I learned the tile orientation stuff, the elevator just got out of my game plan entirely. It's just not, like, being able to navigate back is so consistent, like, I'd rather come back with, like, 1,000 less than I might have, like, come back with 2,000, every time instead of greeting and maybe coming back with 3 or 4 instead. You know, if there was more competition for like high performance in this game, you know, then I'd probably be more inclined to greed. But there really isn't competition right now. Whatever score we basically set, like who's gonna beat it. That's what I'm looking forward to, like as more people pick up this game. I want to see like people take the game super far. Ooh, okay. This is an area that I haven't gone to yet. This is probably where the spider came from, actually. Do have to be a little bit careful now that the spider is behind me, though. We're now gonna slow play now that I know that the spider is on the field. And somewhat nearby. My biggest rule for going down when I have an adrenaline is to not go down to the spider and not go down to the butcher. Because if I go down to the spider, I get cocooned and I cannot move to safety. And when I adrenaline, I make a sound and attract all enemies within hearing distance while injured, and that is not good. And I don't go down to the butcher because if I go down to the butcher, I get butcher carried if I don't get up fast enough. So it's kind of, I'm playing on the butcher's timeline rather than my own. At least if I go down to the Ventress or the Forsaken, I can kind of crawl to my own safety and get back up on my own terms. So, you know, now that the Ventress works, I'm actually kind of happy to see her. Because even though she bothers me quite a bit, she's also kind of like my safe down at the same time. Like you're only punished from going down to the Ventress if you don't have a way to get back up. See, this is the part where I would probably just wait for the generator person to do the elevator. Because, I mean, I have $2,300, right? Obviously, I could get more as a solo person. But if I know that I'm playing in a competent squad of 6 or however many, I can assume that at least some of them are going to have the same amount that I do, if not more. And if we all brought, like, let's say 6 people all brought home $2,000, that's $12,000 for that we can contribute to the cycle. So when I start thinking on how much we can contribute as a group if we all brought home this amount, that's something that helps me not greed. Like the run is not dependent on me bringing home $5,000 every day. But the run, I will lose the run if I die with $2,000 most of the time. That makes sense. Welcome in, Boski. That said, playing solo is a little bit different. Every dollar that I earn on this run is my responsibility. So, yeah. I should probably start heading back soon. I don't know what time the Forsaken spawn on tunnels, but I do know that they spawn on tunnels. So, with that information in mind, I'm going to loot this room and head back. It's actually a good room to loot as well, because it has a fire barrel, it has some lockers, it has some decent loot in here, despite the lower loot values. Pretty sick. The worst thing that could have happened is the Forsaken was behind this door, but it is not. I'm going to walk my ass back. Because I think I have time to. Unless I'm a lot farther than I think I am. But I don't think I am. We're gonna have a nice little ambient walk through the tunnels. There's a barrel in here too. Might as well reset. I'm a little worried though that the enemy spawned behind me. Obviously the butcher isn't gonna be behind me. Or he at least didn't spawn behind me. But Forsaken could have spawned behind me. Spider is clearly behind me. Ventress doesn't matter. Ventress is somewhere in the vent system. She doesn't follow the conventional rules. That's 6 o'clock. Shambler could be behind me. Don't know what time the Shambler spawns. But Shambler is one of the earlier spawns anyway. And chill right here for a sec. This is where the spider walked through. I still have my adrenaline. I'm gonna greed this because I'm pretty sure I'm close to the train. Yeah, train's like to the right here because this is the door that I unlocked at the beginning. So unless the spider is like right here, I'm home free. Unless the spider is in here, I am home free. Cool, I'm home free. No free loot in that table, unfortunately, but it's okay. Wow, that I got $3,000 on a 56% day, by the way. That's pretty good. 45. I did like the bolt cutters. I think the bolt cutters was good. I mean, I used 7 charges, so I'm gonna buy another one. I think stealth is good until you have to start running. I'm gonna try to not make the same mistake as last time. I'm gonna play safer today. This is the day that I died last time, so we're gonna try to not do that this time. At least run to this. Haven't gotten a desk that I can loot yet. Maybe that was fixed in V1312. I'm not entirely sure, but that's. I'm pretty sure that desk is always supposed to be one that you could hide under. So if it's not fixed here, it'll be fixed in the next patch. I'll leave that locked door for now. I want to check out what's over here first. We can run, I guess. Okay, this is worth unlocking. This is the triple hole room. Double barrel shotgun. Ooh, unlucky. Oh yeah, Ventress is not on the map yet, so let's go. Last time I died to Frostbite, so just don't die to Frostbite and I'll be okay. Don't know what time the spider spawns, but Ventress is not here, so I'm running. Butcher is not nearby. Not yet, anyway. Another oh, actually, this is not it. The distance was slightly different. Fair enough. Barrel. No, he hit me. Shit. Okay, hold on. I think we just dip. I only got 500 bucks. Why didn't I get a med kit? I could buy one now and go back out. No, I think we actually just play for surplus this time. Because I want to save the $3,000 that I got. Now it's like I just got... Now it's just like I got 1,800 twice. Surplus! Holy crap, okay. Well then. Can't ask for much more than that. Other than a medkit sale, but Lantern's on sale, so we don't get the medkit sale. We could always super soldier. We could always super soldier if we need to. I'm just remembering now that that's an option, where I just go back to the train and buy adrenalines and medkits as necessary to keep going back out there. Can't believe we actually got it. Now I just need to not die. Hello? Give me a second. I try not to let the map generation numbers toy with my heart so much, because it always changes. This is probably worth unlocking still. There's a desk right there. These are the lockers we're looking for. The big double door ones. You can loot big from those. Butcher room here would be fantastic now, because that's a surplus butcher room on tunnels. Go stupid hard. I also need to make sure I don't die to frostbite. Cool. Yeah, a quick $3,000 before 9 AM. That's why tunnels is worth it. You can't do that on Hospital or any other map. It's just not possible. And I haven't even gone down every branch yet. Now imagine this on a regular Nightmare, or like the original Nightmare where the loot is 2.5 instead of 1.55. Like 1.55 is fairly strong enough to get 5,000 for free. It shatters my heart. I'm used to my heart getting broken, SQ. Watching that number go down to 280 and to different values is well within expectation for me. Okay. Grab this. Dead end. Easy 5K. But another phrase that helps me not greed too hard is saying, you know, I have 5K right now, but 5K in my bag is not 5K in the selling bin. So I need to make sure that this makes it to the selling bin no matter what. And that's a good, I mean, 5,000 isn't crazy, but it's crazy how fast I got it. Whatever. I'm gonna roll multiple surpluses. That's how I'm playing today. Sort of with generation with seed based, so that way you could have like do fixed seed runs or something. Wait, I got surplus again. Actually, I actually got it. Fuck. Well, time to set a tunnels only Nightmare solo record, isn't it? This is the run where I actually play safe and set a decent score, and then after this I start greeting or start RNG rolling for better surpluses. Like, what the hell? If I roll enough surpluses, the score is gonna be hard to beat no matter how hard I can do. Or how hard I go. What is that double vent? That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen 2 vents spawn so close like that before. That's scary. I mean, I guess it gives me increased odds of hearing a vent pop if a Ventress decides to spawn right there, so maybe it's a good thing actually that they spawned right there. Kind of like a Challenge Moon Lethal Company is how I would see that. Unlock this. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, that's why, you know, when the game first came out, you know, Piercy, Gluten-Free Bread and I were trying to push the single day, like, clear scores and stuff. There wasn't really a place to kind of track that, though. But, I kind of liked that format of challenge since, you know, the going on a high cycle run is a huge time investment. Whereas going on a single day bag clear, you know, you kind of just keep resetting until you get a decent score. Granted, you'll have better seeds than other runs, but I mean, that's just part of it too. That's also inherent to high cycle as well, except it's just in a much faster time horizon for the challenge. I think it would be cool if there was a single location type game mode where you could keep going to the same location at 100% value. Instead of like having the single... Oh god! My bad, my fault. Where did she... You know what? That's my fault for not immediately turning around when a Shambler aggroed. That's my bad. Greed! This is why I don't greed. This is why I don't greed so hard. Yeah. But hey, this is $3,000 in the bag. I'm gonna crawl as far back as I can. Well, I give stuff more time to spawn if I do this. Kind of tough. But if I get Silent Ventress again, then I'm cooked. Okay, well I can't have the spider come this way. Yeah. Challenge Moon, I think Challenge Moon was cool on release for Lethal, but I just have not touched that category ever since. This though, you know, a game where it's intended for high performance. Lethal Company is not a game where you're supposed to be, you know, performing like crazy. Wait, I don't think this is the right way. That was actually more progress, but I don't feel safe progressing right now. This game though, where it encourages people to actually, you know, be good at the game. Yeah, this one's more tuned for challenges. Challenge Moon type thing in this game would be fire A. Closest thing we got is single day clears though on specific locations. Let's get past this double vent, and then I think we run. Right? No, we can keep walking. Now we run. There's no vents in here. Sick. You know what? You know what? Oh, I thought I got surplus again. That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. I definitely buy another adrenaline though. That's just $220 insurance. I think it's because in, you know, in Lethal, you don't have your own bag. You just have 4 slots. So you're not like, you can't really call claim to whatever loot you're getting or to whatever scrap you're bringing home. Whereas this one, you got your scrap, you got your name on this bag. Like when you die, if someone picks up your bag, it says like chef's loot or chef's bag, and it shows how much you got. There's a bit of an ego check, a little bit of a pride check here going on with how much you can bring back. That said, I think when you do high cycle and stuff, you kind of got to put that aside and remember that whatever you bring home goes towards one big bag. But you know, if you're just doing like a casual thing with your friends, of course you want to have a bigger bag than them. Me personally, when we do high cycle, I just want to see a big number here at the end of the day. And I'm more sad when I see a lot of red on this instead. But if there's like if it became more competitive to do like a single day type clear thing, oh, it's on. Even though there was only 3 people doing it at the very beginning, I thought it was kind of fun to go for. Although now it's a lot easier to beat the scores that Kiersey and Gluten Free Bread put up because Metro was made a lot easier than on release. So Metro's actually kind of free right now on Unbroken. Metro's just also free on day 1 Nightmare. Like hollowed Metro is still easier than release Metro. Unbroken Metro, it only has the Butcher and then a Shambler at like noon or something. I don't even care what time the Shambler spawns. It's literally just one Butcher that can down you. Just outrun him the whole time. Never let him kick down a door, just door slam him infinitely and make progress. The fact that you'll never see a Butcher on a Ventress on Metro Unbroken is absolutely wild to me, but like Maylene said in Discord today, they made and like the startup for Endless as easy as possible without making it completely free. So that way people could have a chance to actually play the game and learn it or whatever. And I don't think it gets any easier unless they take the Butcher off the map and just don't have anything that can kill you, but I don't know what purpose that would serve. Tipper, thanks for the raid. Thanks for the raid. Was just on a rant about the difficulty in this game and how Endless is kind of easy and Nightmare is in a good place for people who want to challenge. And I'm currently on a run where I'm going to Tunnels only, which is the hardest and most expensive location in the game. I actually have a kind of decent run here. I'm currently on day 7, just completed. I'm in the middle of cycle 3 and I got 8,500 in the bank with 3,100 in the bin. Got a little lucky with surpluses, so as long as I don't die here, this run might be kind of hard to beat. Well, I don't think it'll be that hard to beat. You just kind of reroll until you get surpluses. It'll just take decent RNG because I'm not playing them very greedily. But I want to set a decent score first and then start playing greedy after that. Especially since I don't know if I'll ever revisit this format. Yeah, thanks for follow, Sunlight Ice Girl. Thanks for the raid, Tipper. Hope your run went well, man. Tipper play FF. Yeah, man. It's fun over here. It's fun over here. It's a good I think the thing is, I don't think Tipper gets tired of Lethal, but if you ever want to break from Lethal, Forsaken is a good place to go. And vice versa, if you want to break from Forsaken, you can go back to Lethal. It's been good for me to have like 2 different games that I enjoy. So, yeah. Alright, let's go to Tunnels. As you can see, I have 23% remaining loot value, but I do have Vigor. I am on Forsaken difficulty because the difficulty scales a lot faster in Nightmare. You might not see me greed crazy hard here, but I will at least go in. Kind of just rolling for good loot rooms. That's not one of them. That's actually decent for 23% loot value. Was that a vent right there? I thought I was tripping. I'm walking because I'm pretty sure Ventress can spawn already on Forsaken difficulty. I guess I could run and find out, huh? Like if I get the Ventress this early, then it's fine. Because I could just adrenaline and crawl back. And that would be good info to know if the Ventress can spawn immediately at 6 AM. Ventress spawn kind of determines the pace of the game for me, especially at Forsaken difficulty. Because you can deal with her, it's just that it's whether or not you have to. You can go kind of far in solo, just kind of walking everywhere and not alerting enemies when you don't have to. Maybe not as much in this format, because you do kind of have to cover some decent ground if you actually want to get loot. But if you're going on a regular solo run, you can kind of just chill and walk for most of it and make it a decent way through the game. I think, you know, I made it a pretty decent distance on my first time playing in the new Nightmare. Kind of just playing a little bit slow. I think I would play it a little bit differently now that I know exactly how this game mode works. At least pacing wise. But I was originally planning on doing that, just going into a regular Nightmare solo run, but I think it would take longer than I want to play tonight. So I think when this run ends, I'll just call it already, because I did start a little bit late. But I did want to play today, since I've been playing nothing but Lethal for the past week and a half, I think. And when I play enough Lethal like that, it just makes me want to play Forsaken Frontiers. And then, you know, after I play Forsaken Frontiers for a while, I'll have the energy again to play Lethal, and it's like a good balance. I'm not expecting to see much loot here. But at least when I do see loot, I know that it's going to be worth a little bit, at least. When I did a Metro-only run with Nico, Kreef, and Anthran, it was a little bit rough. It was a little bit rough. We played on, because we got the loot value all the way down to 15%. And the thing is, we would almost never find loot, and when we did, it would only be worth like $2 to $4, and that gets very demoralizing really fast. I'm walking towards this kicked door, by the way. I heard that. Ooh, this could be good for me. This could be good for the run here. We love to see lockers. We don't love to see empty ones, though. I might go back just to secure this. Because I am just playing for surpluses and kind of taking what I can on non-surpluses. I think 820 is a good amount. I don't want to make the same mistake as last time, where I greeted at a location and lost a whole bunch in the selling bin. Like, the fact that I even got 3,000 in the selling bin right now is kind of insane. So, that might be the play. I think the play is play safe. Well, yeah, play safe. If I get a and then if I get a surplus, then I go a little bit harder. And I make sure that that makes it to the end of the cycle. Because that can take me a lot farther than getting an extra like $200 here. You also get to enjoy the vibes of the map when we walk through instead of run. Maybe I'll use this. Might as well, since I'm already making a retreat. Maybe I'll check this corner as well. Okay. See if I get any easy loot rooms on the way back. I don't have any breathing, but, you know, the moment I start running, if I happen to run near a Ventress, she'll pop. I'd rather not use another adrenaline. I can just kind of preserve almost all of my equipment here. That's the other thing. Like, if I have to use all of my equipment to survive this day, then I will have made no money anyway. Because my inventory basically costs the amount that I have right now, so I want to make sure that I go back plus rather than even. Because that's something to consider on top of travel fees, equipment cost. And equipment cost tends to be quite expensive. We have the Stunlight at $200, Bolt Cutter at $175, so that's $375. Lantern at $75, which is the cheapest thing, for $450. And an Adrenaline for $220, so that's a total inventory of $670. So if I needed to use everything to survive today, I would only profit $150, which means I would actually lose $350 because it cost me $500 to come here. Which is why I think leaving right now is good. Better to be plus than not. And we don't get a modifier here. I think I'll take this. I'm not going to commit crazy hard. 19%, no modifiers. 280 cells, so not a lot going for me here, to be honest. So I will be going back very soon. This might even be like a land leave type situation. But we'll see how serious it is first. Number 1 rule, do not go down to the butcher, do not go down to the spider. If I go down to Ventress or Forsaken, I can crawl back. But we will not be greeting too hard today. We will not be dying to Frostbite. Like legitimately, if there's nothing here, okay, I think I'm going back after this anyway. Oh my god. This is horrible. We will go to that fire barrel first though. $3! I want to be able to walk all the way back with no problem. I guess I can check over here. No, I'm not going to. I will gladly take this L today so I can secure the $4,000 that I have. It's okay. Because I'm gonna have very crap days like this in the next few, or like next cycle anyway, because we're gonna be at the minimum value of 15% available. And it's just gonna be, like, how far I take this run is gonna be very, like, actually just dependent on how many surpluses I get. This run should have already been over to begin with, so, I think we'll take it. $25% minimum value? Brother, we go down to 15. It goes all the way down to 15. We're at 15 right now with EMP. But we still have $10,000 in the bank. Oh, I see. B1400 is gonna be 25. Interesting. As for why people are reaching 25% to begin with, that's wild to me, but that's probably more for like casual players as well, because I see a lot of casual groups just kind of going to Metro and not taking the taking the risk to go to other locations at the cost of debt. But I guess, you know, if you're not making enough to go to the other places, then the 25% is going to make a difference. Yeah, 25% is going to be way better for stuff like this for sure. It's going to, because playing at 15% loot value is kind of depressing. But hey, if I greeted there and I died because I wanted an extra $15, that's not gonna pay off the adrenaline that I use, you know? That just doesn't, the numbers don't pan out. So it's better for me to play safe like this and only come back with $10 than it is to do 220, or to use an adrenaline and then pay 220 to come back. Or to, you know, I might even just go without equipment at some point. Cupcake, thanks for the Prime sub. Welcome in. Currently doing a tunnels only run on Nightmare. I think I'm on DC 4 now. We're at minimum loot value, 15%. So we're kind of just hoping that we get some surpluses here, but we'll see how far I can go. then go, until 25%, then go to the next map. That sounds like a fun idea, actually. There's one you can do, well, can you do it now? When Bunker comes out, I want to do the Iron Man format, like the hardcore Iron Man in, I guess it would be easy and endless though, where you play one map per difficulty level. So like you can play one cycle on Metro Unbroken, one cycle, okay, hold on. Fuck. Give me a second. I'm not losing $670 to this. But 25% Iron Man also sounds real cool. Reverse tunnels where you, or reverse Iron Man where you start on tunnels and then go down. That'll be cool. I do want to greed that one loot room though, because it did have quite a few lockers. I didn't go the right way for it, but whatever. Heard of you because of your Iron Man challenge on Lethal. Love this one too. I think I did one during the playtest with Nico, but it's not a crazy translation, like a one-to-one translation to this game. So stuff like the 25% Iron Man or the hardcore Iron Man, I think those are much better variations for it. So when Bunker comes out, like that's when it's all gonna happen. Because now, like with Bunker in the game, there's all the pieces necessary to make like a respectable Iron Man format, and turns out more like multiple variants of it already, because I can't say that I've thought about the like 25% Iron Man or like making it go down to minimum value. I think that's a really cool one also, and especially with like how long of a run you can go on in Forsaken Frontiers, I feel like that's probably even better than the hardcore one. But with the way I am, I'm down to just do every variant of it, because why the hell not? Yeah. 5 though? 5 maps? 5 locations? 5 difficulties? It's kind of just right there, you know? It's literally sitting right there in front of you. And that, but dude, the one where you play until 25% and then you do nightmare mode, that sounds pretty intense. I'm absolutely interested in doing that when Bunker drops. I will also be interested in doing a Bunker only run, obviously, so. Do I stream tomorrow? So next few days are kind of a bit shaky because my aunt is having surgery or getting surgery tomorrow, so I kind of have to be on call to like take care of her at all times. So I don't know if I'll be streaming the next few days, which is why I've made sure to at least stream today. I may or may not like record stuff offline though. We'll see. I might have to take at least tomorrow off and gauge like what my responsibilities are and how timely they are. So I don't think I'll stream tomorrow. But if that changes, then, you know, I'll be live. 2,150, 3,000. When is Bunker dropping? I don't have a set date for that. All I know is that it's going to drop for beta first before it goes to live, and the beta is going to be public. Where you play every modifier at least once. There's a challenge that I want to do where if there's a negative modifier, you have to play it. So like, for example, on that run, I see Blackout Hospital, I have to go to Blackout Hospital. I liked Roy's one where he just kind of did a roulette type thing, like spun a wheel to see which location he would go to, and if an item was on sale, and that he could only buy items that were on sale. When's beta? Don't know. But, you know, Made in Fairyland team will announce it in the Discord when it's available. All I've been told is that it's coming soon and that they're working really hard on it. But, yeah. worried about EMP, but then I went to Blackout and learned EMP isn't that bad. I actually think Blackout isn't bad either. Just bring a lantern and then I just play the same way I do on every other map. Blackout is a lot more playable when you're not playing for an elevator. You just need to bring a light source. I actually prefer Blackout to EMP. Because EMP, when you don't have access to the clock, it's kind of hard to time things sometimes, especially if you have like a range of when you should know certain things should be on the map. Like that's gonna be something I have to commit to memory at some point. It's just right now it kind of changes quite a bit, so it's not really a priority for me to commit it to memory. It's more I should just be able to play around the enemy if I encounter it at any point during the run. So that's kind of like the mentality I have at the moment. Because I'm not like a stranger to playing around Ventress popping at 6 AM or having every enemy on the map at once. If you want practice playing with every enemy on the map at once, just go play escape mode, because I believe that every enemy now again spawns immediately, which is how it was in the playtest. And that's like where you really get your gamer chops in. Like if you're not confident with door slamming, hiding, all that stuff, go play escape mode for a little bit and just go enter the hyperbolic time chamber to train. There's like no, you know, you don't have a run on the line when you play escape mode. Just go crazy, play super aggro. Get real comfortable door slamming and playing around multiple enemies. If you find a stun light, get used to playing with it. And then you go out in the field on Endless or Nightmare. Maylene and Dio for the win. Yeah, and B as well, and B. I mean, B's not really active in the Discord, but shout out to all three of them. The Made in Fairyland team is a team of 3 people only, and it's kind of insane to think that we get all this from that. Wonder why EMP doesn't affect the elevators or train. That is something to think about. It is something to think about. Because, you know, EMPs tend to affect all electronics on a map. You know, as soon as, you know, the ECD was revealed, like, you know, entity containment, whatever, entity containment department was revealed. Once like supernatural entities enter the realm of possibility, you kind of, like, a lot of things are back on the table. Like, what can be explained through entity nature that was previously kind of just accepted as game mechanic, right? And I started thinking about that when someone mentioned about like what our backpack would look like with all this stuff in our backpack. Because, you know, we have an infinite backpack. We can just loot all we want. And the first reaction to that is finally someone in the extraction game genre figured it out. They've realized that 4 or 5 inventory slots is kind of whack, and they just let you go crazy with the looting. Infinite backpack. Someone was like, what would a backpack that has infinite space look like? So why can we, if we think about like consistency, or why are we able to have infinite storage space in a backpack? What's the reason for that? Or when we think about elevators, you know, like there's elevators all throughout the map. Why do they all lead back to the train station, you know? Is that a game mechanic, or is there a reason to explore that? Or is there something behind that? And the fact that they don't get disabled by EMPs, there we go. Now they do get disabled by blackouts, so that's something to consider as well. They do get disabled by blackouts. That is the one counterpoint, but maybe it's not a counterpoint, but more something to look into even further. How do we? Does a train just have all of this stuff in somewhere? Like, why is it so immediately accessible? Where does this money actually go? Like, what are they doing with each individual loot? Like, why is it valued the way it is? Why is it that we can go to these locations? Like, why are we going to this specific tunnel system in Chicago, Illinois? How is it that we know, like, how is it that the train knows the remaining loot value on there? Like, why is there even a modifier? Why are these detectable variables in the first place? You know? And why is it different every time we go there? There's a lot of things to think about, really. How much of it can be explained through lore and the story behind the game, and how much of it is game mechanics? And I think it's a really boring approach to just chalk it down to game mechanics, and I think it takes a really good like imagination, and it's a lot more fun to start thinking of game mechanics as something that could be explored through supernatural causes. I mean, if it's there, like, why are there rules then? You know? Why is it reduced to just a game mechanic? It's a lot more fun to be able to think of something after that, or through that. I want to know where they get a carton of smokes for $4. I mean, it is 1992. That's probably an appropriate price for smokes, you know? But then again, it is a carton though. It's not just a pack. So actually you're right. They're probably some dog, you know? Why does our data deck connect to our back? Right, exactly. Or what is that? Like, what is that character creation screen? Why is it that we can't see our faces under the hood? You know? It's just a hoodie, you should be able to see. What do the ranks mean, if anything? Why are none of the enemies affected by frostbite on the tunnels? Why is it that only we are? Who decorated the train for— now we're now we're thinking, who decorated the train for Halloween? Who said it was like— why was it necessary, or who even thought to do that? And where are the decorations now? Who took away the decorations? Where are they being stored? Are they being stored somewhere? Maybe the train itself has an infinite storage space like the backpack, you know? I think that we are creatures made of void and we store the items in our mouth. Now we're cooking. And barf them into the backpack right before death so other people can grab them. Used syringe for $2? Who? Why are they buying used syringes? We don't deserve faces. Why is a butcher kind of just some guy? Word. Why is there a butcher room in a metro? Why is there a butcher room in a hotel? Why does the Pentagon have a butcher room? You know? Why are all these TVs on every map? Like, those TVs are everywhere. I'll point one out in a little bit. Why are those TVs everywhere? And why is the only place that the TVs have any kind of anything on the screen or at the Pentagon where it points at the butcher room, or on the main menu where you're actually like editing your character avatar and choosing the game mode and stuff? I don't think there's any other instance of a TV that has anything other than the offline screen. I've yet to find a butcher room on Pentagon. They're kind of lit. Unless I'm gaslighting myself into believing that the butcher room is there, but you know, butcher room spawns at the butcher spawns at the butcher room on every map. But I want to say that I have looted a butcher room on Pentagon. Why, it's a main menu in a butcher room? Now we're cooking. Who are those two people on the main menu? Why are they wearing hats? Why can't I wear that hat as a cosmetic? How is this water real cold when it's next to a heater? To be fair, butcher room's also kind of harder to find on Pentagon, because the butcher will just hook you on one of those pig hooks sometimes, which I said before you joined, I was saying was not an intended mechanic, as explained by Maylene. She played with us on our metro and hotel run and saw Nico get hooked on one of the pig hooks and was like, oh, he's not supposed to do that. Which is really funny because I thought it was like a Pentagon specific mechanic, since the butcher's been doing that since the very first playtest that I joined in on. What if the train isn't getting around? See? We're cooking. We're cooking. What is the end of the run actually, like when we crash or whatever? Like what is this debt system? Why is it that it keeps going up? Who are we even paying the debt to in the first place? In the apocalypse, which was the very first question I even had. Like, how are you in debt during the apocalypse? And why is it so important to pay it off if the world is ending anyway? Why are there 2 extra zeros? So I'm hoping that with V1400, with the new map and stuff, there'll be more stuff to look into. But just like, you know, the game mechanics that aren't explained to people, like, off rip through a tutorial or whatever, there's a lot that you could... I think Forsaken Frontiers is a good opportunity to practice, like, interpreting stuff told through visual storytelling. Because there's a lot of lore that can be picked up on, or at least, you know, taken a stab at when you just stop being a loot maxing goblin and take a look at the surroundings around you and start questioning things. And like I said, as soon as entities enter the picture, it's like everything gets called into question. Why is the government so, like, involved with containing entities? And, you know, as stories involving the government go, they probably try to weaponize them at some point too. That's kind of just how government stories with stuff like this goes. It just is. Because why would you not want to weaponize them? Why are we not provided with the means to kill these enemies? You know, people have asked why enemies aren't killable, and, you know, it's usually explained away with, we don't want enemies to be killable, we don't want, like, that's not part of the game, etc., etc. But maybe there's a lore reason behind it, you know? Maybe they don't offer us guns or anything, or, you know, shovels, etc., because they wouldn't be effective. Just a lot, there's a lot to think about. Why do you go to the bunker after escape mode? What was that? Who wrote that message at the end of escape mode too? Like, if you open this door, you'll kill everyone below. Like, what's the meaning behind that? Why can't you take the elevator back down if you don't want to kill everyone? That said, that cutscene is also still in development. You know, the people who did complete escape mode when that got added, it was said that they mostly pushed escape mode so that way people can play it and they can test how well it actually works. So I'm expecting escape mode ending and cutscene to be like worked on a little bit more at some point. What is that thing, you know, the Easter egg from escape mode also? The one where you actually leave the train station and actually go outside and you can kind of see part of the train system. Why is it that this train can go to like from Arizona to Georgia to Illinois? What's the connection between the metro and tunnels, since they're both in Chicago, Illinois? Like, you know. Just makes me wonder why a man is unkillable. I mean, the assumption is that, well, okay, it's not even an assumption anymore because the director messages talk about the entities that are in the game. So the Butcher is definitely not just a man with a chainsaw. He's classified as an entity of sorts, which the assumption there is that he's not human, or, you know, there was some sort of modification that made him that way. So are these like extraterrestrial kind of things? Are they modified things? Why is the Pentagon one of the locations that you have to loot? If, like, let's say you're working for the government, right? That's the assumption, that you are working for the ECD. Why is the Pentagon somewhere that you have to loot? Is the Pentagon not a safe place? Where is the ECD operating out from then? Or, like, is the ECD the ones controlling the entities or something? Where is the ECD operating from if not the Pentagon? Is it the same Butcher and same Ventress every time, right? Is it even like, how does all that work? You can bring cell generation into it also. Like I said, you know, when you can go to the same hospital every time, but it's gonna be a different layout. How does that work? It's the asthma that makes him invincible, not the chainsaw. There we go. Well, that's another one. How are we able to sense that entities are nearby? Like, what just prompts us to start breathing super heavily when an enemy is nearby? Like, that's not just something that happens, right? Like, what's that all about? Yeah, how do any of the modifiers work? How does remaining loot value work? Why are certain, like, loot value or loot valued the way it is? Why are you allowed, like, why are you allowed to go further into debt to travel to a location, but not go into debt buying items? Clearly, there's whoever you're paying sees value in you taking the risk to go to somewhere more dangerous, but does not see the value in giving you equipment from incurring debt, you know? New Pentagon, it's called the Octagon. They added 3 more sides. Butcher Forsaken Frontiers found hospitalized after having a horrible asthma attack from an extended chase. That's another thing. Why do these guys have unlimited stamina? How do we have so much stamina? Dude, if I'm like in this thing in real life, I'm running out of stamina way sooner and I'm not recovering that fast. How did the Shambler learn how to gritty in the 1900s? People don't know this, but the Shambler invented the gritty. I'm just saying. But that's not a conversation that everyone's ready for. Love how my second lore video that I'm working on works with half of these questions. And I'm glad that someone out there is working out the lore. I've said it to Maylene too, like there's, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. And it's cool to see when someone's actually like taking the time to do that. I do ask a lot of questions like during stream as well, but not necessarily in a way for me to kind of figure it out myself, but kind of just get people thinking, kind of like today, like the discussion just now, right? Like I didn't really answer any questions or offer any of my own theories, but I think it was a lot of questions that can be asked that can lead to a lot of interesting ones. Because when it comes to stuff like this where the story isn't told to you outright, I'm very interested to see what kind of theories people can come up with and how far they'll take to develop them, more so than them actually being right. Because then that's just kind of like a way to express like your own imagination and how far you can take an idea. Just waiting for a V1400 right. And there's gonna be a lot more to analyze with a whole new map, whole new set of scrap, you know, new entity, lots of stuff. It was a Pentagon was so good, why don't we have a hexagon yet? I'm saying, why did we stop at 5? Why did we stop at 5? We probably started at 3, you know, there's a Bermuda Triangle, then we have the train, which is the four-sided thing, then the Pentagon. Where's the hexagon? Why did UFC and one championship skip to the octagon instead? Where's the heptagon? What happened to that? How could 7 eat 9 if 7 doesn't exist? But also, you know, 7 also ate the hexagon too. So, you know, what's the one for 9? 7 ate the 9 gone, but 6 is also what 7 ate. Where's 7? What happened to 7? Is 7 a nightmare class entity? How about that? Are we even in the 1990s? Right, how accurate is this information? Wasn't there something about like a time skip or something too in the photo of Dio and the timeline as well? There's a lot of nuggets everywhere. Just need someone crazy enough to put them all together. Decagon for 10, Nonagon for 9. New enemy is a big ass bee. You like jazz? Alright. I think we continue this run now. What the fuck am I doing? Mentioning the Dio picture is deep. Gotta tune into the Dio streams also. That's where you get like some insight. Some prior insight. Locations are far too dilapidated for it to just have been a few years. Oh wait, that's actually a good point, isn't it? 1992 is just the year that we started playing, but what happened? How did we get to this point? You know, hospital just doesn't get as deteriorated as it does because there's a snowstorm. Time has to pass first. So what happened in that time between then and now? Have we been trying to figure stuff out in that time, or is this like what happened then? Did any in this game walk up to me and said you like jazz? I'd shit my pants. They just start spamming the jazz button. They break out a saxophone. Do we even know what caused the winter? Right. Why are we in a snow apocalypse in the first place? What's up with that? What's up with airline food? Okay, I'm gonna die again, it seems. I forgot what kind of run I'm going on. It's kind of just go in and out real fast. Cold War. Literally. It'd be cold. You know, is this one jacket even good enough to, like, keep us warm? Who updates our name tags? With the ranks and stuff. Mutated stuff and weird government stuff. All one and the same. Why are there so many clothes in the tunnels on the floor? Who was down here even? Oh look, there's like what even is this? What is this tunnel system? Like what were they planning down here? Why is there like government documents and just everyday plain clothes everywhere in the tunnels here? How many people were down here, bro? Like for there to be this many clothes. Okay. Funny enough, I think 200 is a respectable amount. Tunnels reminds me of old bunkers from World War I. We got like refugees down here or something. But what are the... Well, I guess they would be refuge from the cold. But what if that's not like the only thing too? I mean, there's clearly dangerous entities out there also. But what happened to all these people? That's a lot of people to just go missing. Y'all thinking too hard? I don't think so. I think it's kind of a fun thing to do. This is literally how, like, you know, how lore videos get made, you know? Like people who follow channels like MatPat or VatiVidya. This is the kind of questions that you have to ask in order to figure lore stuff out. Especially when there isn't like NPCs or whatever to talk to or anything like that. That can like just kind of give you gimmies with dialogue or whatever. You kind of just have to figure stuff out for yourself. Especially when the devs themselves say that there is lore and like lore consistency behind like everything that happens in the game. In fact, I think people aren't thinking hard enough. Which is fine, you know, not everyone has to figure out lore stuff. And especially in a game that plays the way it is. Like you can play a game like this and never have to worry about the lore ever. You can kind of just focus on the gameplay. But damn, I would love to like see someone try to figure out lore for this and offer theories. So I'm like looking forward to SQ's video on it because I know that he's been working a lot harder on figuring out the lore for this game and coming up with his own theories. Him and Tato actually. Those two I think are at least from what I can know, they're working the hardest out of everyone to figure out some lore stuff. Which is why I even like mentioned lore in the first place, you know, because I think stuff like that is real cool. And would like to see more of it. You know, I have a bigger appreciation for a lot of like the Souls-like games, thanks to Vati Vidya's like breakdowns of the stories in them. I have a huge appreciation for Hunter x Hunter, thanks to Alexander's like character breakdowns and analysis of every character and, you know, group in Hunter x Hunter. Like a lot more than when I just watched Hunter x Hunter, you know. And I think it would be cool if someone did something similar for Forsaken, or, you know, if enough people got into it to where Forsaken gets that same kind of treatment. Or people who are fans of Fear and Hunger, like, you know, the story coverages of the characters in Fear and Hunger. Although Fear and Hunger kind of gives you the lore because, you know, they kind of, a lot of text-based stuff. But you still have to figure out a lot of stuff visually, too. Yeah, like, right, this isn't the kind of session where I'm gonna try to answer questions, because then we kind of tunnel in too hard on, like, one concept. Me personally, when it comes to, like, talking about this stuff, I'd rather just throw, like I said earlier, I'd rather throw the questions out there, and then on my own time kind of come up with a theory, because I don't want to give a theory off the cuff. I like to sit down with them and connect a lot of dots myself, and then present a more curated thing. If that makes sense. So I'm kind of just putting a bunch of pieces on the table, especially knowing that SQ's in here too. Like, maybe there's like a new piece that someone can work with because I said something. The barrel's burning must mean there's at least some activity in the tunnel. See, now, those are the kind of questions, right? Game mechanic or lore, game mechanic or story, or can it be explained somehow? And again, like I said, the much more interesting approach is to believe that there is something behind it, which, you know, can be this. I know, like, to be fair, this kind of discussion can be equated to, you know, the age-old English class thing where like the curtains are blue because the author wanted to demonstrate the melancholy of agoraphobia or whatever, versus the author being like, nah, I just made them blue because I like the color blue. But the thing about art and, you know, games and media and whatever is that regardless of what the original intention was, you know, the value, there's that saying that goes that like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, value is up to the person perceiving the thing. And I think it's a lot more fun when there's something behind it other than just taking things at face value. We reached $1 million doing this, by the way. There was a good passage. I don't know if anyone's a fan of Blue Period out there. Blue Period is is like a manga about this guy who gets into art and whatever. Wasn't originally planning to. Very good read, and watch for people who consider themselves a creative type. There's a passage somewhere in there. I don't know if it was in the anime. I didn't watch the full anime, but I've caught up on the manga at least, talking about how a lot of the beauty of media is in how people interpret it and stuff, and that kind of stuck with me for a bit. And, you know, even in my own life too, like, let's take the Smash Brothers series for an example, right? Like, Super Smash Brothers is supposed to be a casual party game to play with friends and family, but the actual reception was that there's a whole bunch of nerds who play it super competitively and at a very, like, technical level and very high performing level. That, I mean, I played that game and for over a decade in a competitive setting, helped run tournaments for that. Obviously, the people who made Smash Brothers absolutely do not support the competitive community. They want it to stay a casual thing, but that's not how it was taken. which lore docs has Maylene shown you? I'd rather not disclose that on stream. But like everything that I've said so far is stuff that I've thought of even before she's shared anything with me. I'm just not very vocal about it because I'm usually like just trying to play the game and show people how to play the game, because I think it's going to be hard for people to get invested in the lore of the game if they're not first interested in the game itself. But maybe that's just because that's how I would do it. Maybe there's people who only play this game for the lore, you know. But the community isn't crazy big yet. I'm hoping that when the game like fully releases, that more people will catch on. Especially since that's when most of the marketing for the game is actually going to happen. I really want to make FF videos. I say go for it. Something I've liked about Forsaken Frontiers so far is that a lot of like the Lethal Company heads that didn't make YouTube content previously have decided to start making some for Forsaken Frontiers, and I like that a lot. I really like that a lot. I really think, you know, it's just been a prevailing belief of mine that if you are doing Twitch streaming and you want to grow to any capacity, that you should be doing YouTube. It's just not optional. Like that just full stop. And if you could do long form, even better. People say short form is the meta, but how many of your friends or whatever are actually successful doing the short form to Twitch conversions? There's not a lot of them. There's a lot of people who do long form YouTube who eventually do well as Twitch streaming too. Also, doing long form helps you figure out what your vision for yourself as a content creator is. I don't think shorts are too conducive for that, especially when all you're doing is taking a highlight from your stream and then uploading it as a clip. Those ones get skipped over on the timeline real fast, but that's a whole different thing not related to Forsaken Frontiers. I'm just really happy that people are giving the YouTube thing a go and that Forsaken Frontiers is the one that they're doing it for. Bit of a media / creative hellscape right now. In what way is it a hellscape? Majority of movies are sequels or based off pre-existing media. I guess if you go into like, you know, the big AAA or like huge productions or whatever. But I like that, you know, being able to do creative expression in a way that can be scaled as an individual is actually viable now with how social media and stuff works. Like you don't necessarily have to go through like traditional publishing or I guess funding things to start making a living as an artist today. It's still a lot of work, but there are a lot of independent artists who are making a living today thanks to how the internet and social media and online business works compared to having to go through traditional channels. Like for example, if you're writing a book, you don't have to go through a traditional publisher anymore, or like if you're trying to get a movie, if you're trying to do a movie, you don't have to get it funded by like a production studio or anything. If you want to make a game, you don't have to like get it approved by a big gaming company. Like indie games are huge now. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of not good ones. But it's possible. It's within the realm of possibility. Tato found out the debt system is broken today. In what way? Because I have not. I'd actually much prefer, you know, the creative freedom or whatever and all the agency to be in the power or in the hands of the artist than to have like someone curating the stuff above them. But you can't just do that. You can't just be... There has to be some sort of method and system behind it, and I think that's the hard part. It's just kind of a pick your poison type thing, and you might as well pick the one where you have full control. The values are wrong. Like the increases, or... Because I know like... But anywhere from 150 off to or 300. So what values are you talking about? Like the increases? Or just... Because it starts off, let's say endless, it starts off at 50. Then it goes to 200. Really? Because as far as I know, like Unbroken is supposed to increase by 100, not including the initial increase from 50 to 200. And then Withering is like, well, 200 I think. I don't know. So like at Forsaken difficulty, it doesn't increase at 650. I did find the jump from 100 to 700 a little strange in nightmare mode. But then it seemed like a consistent 650 after that from Forsaken difficulty. I haven't really touched Endless though, so. Forsaken increases by 400 or 800, really? Interesting. Interesting. Feature or bug? Guess we'll find out, huh? Speaking of find out, let's go to unlocked tunnels at 15. This Yap session has extended the amount of time I was gonna play this run today. So first half of this run is gonna be like playing tunnels. Second half is gonna be lore podcast. Welcome back to the lore podcast part of Forsaken Frontiers. Already fixed. Oh, I see. Pardon me? That's disrespectful, by the way. What was that, bro? Okay. That is precisely why I play this at the pace that I play it at, by the way. Looks like V1400 is going to be a good... Now I get this set up. Now that we're at 15% loot value. Thank you, game. 223. That was my college room number, by the way. Freshman year college. I'm going back already, by the way. Check this. Well, I guess we wouldn't know. I would have never figured that out since we never actually went on our nightmare run in V1312. We only did our endless one. The system scaling has been bugged since V1310. We changed for how it works for nightmare mode. It was a mistake. The order at which some code... I see. Interesting. Well. Definitely plan on doing some more high cycle run again in V1400, by the way. Solo and as a group and Iron Man. You know, V1400 is probably going to be where a lot of movement starts to happen because I think a new map, new entity, and now fixed scaling, debt scaling system is huge. So gonna get to do everything all over again. Baleen just appears. You should be used to it. Like the Ventress. She just doesn't have a vent pop sound. She does pop up in pink though, on my screen though. She's like the only one that's pink colored for some reason, consistently. Baleen likes to deny that the Ventress is her self-insert, but she's said it multiple times that it is. So don't believe her when she says that it's not. $280 cells, right? It's not like I've only been exploring like 4 of them anyway, so I guess map size doesn't really matter. So let this be a lesson that when you are at your hardest, size doesn't matter. Because size has not mattered since I've got into Forsaken difficulty. I rest my case. Yep. So just stay hard. Or something. I'm always at my hardest? You might want to get that checked out, actually. I just did harmonica. I just did. I'm about to get $0 as a result. If the Ventress can pop me at 6 AM, I should be ready for it. Mm-hmm. Why is the nearest loot room 500 cells away from the start? Yeah, brother, I'm going back with $0. It's okay. I heard a door open. It is 500 cells away and I have no fire barrels. I'm not gonna die with my inventory, unfortunately. For us, the people who want to see me fail. Unless I do, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, you see that? Ventress pop. Ventress pop as soon as I kick the door. That's why I don't do it. It was unlocked too, unfortunate. Man, this is just like when we got the Endless World record the first time, huh? This kind of reroll for surplus. Except I'm high rerolling on tunnels. Got unlocked again. At least I went in though. I'm not even gonna purchase for sales because I am playing to not need to ever use my equipment fully if I don't have to. That's a scary event. I could get insta-popped on my way back. I'm breathing already. That was probably the Ventress based on how fast it went away also. Sunlight at the ready. I have to run by quite a few vents here. Or walk by, rather. 93? That thing's worth 93 in Nightmare? Jesus Christ. Okay. If there's no loot room here, I go back already. Ooh. This usually doesn't lead to a loot room, unfortunately. 171. We're just getting a little bit each time. Watch, I'm gonna get hit with the surplus, and then it's gonna have been so long that I'm no longer warm again. But I guess I don't really have to, because with the amount of rooms that I covered, I'd probably get at least 1,000 just from walking. Maybe surpluses are wasted on... I went the wrong way somehow. Oh, I see. I did the thing again. That is literally how I died as the generator person on our endless high cycle, because of that specific turn right there. That's like one of two tiles that still confuse me on tunnels. Not confuse me, but they get me. I figure it out usually, but depending on what I have available to me, that could be the difference between being alive and being dead. So it can be a costly mistake doing stuff like that. $394. We are on a downhill slope here. Vigor. 3, 4, 5. I actually need to earn money here. But I think I'm still gonna play the same way I did. Oh, I can't really. Okay, loot room immediately. Love to see it. Light bulb, whatever. Would have preferred something a bit more valuable than a light bulb. Considering that you can get light bulbs on Metro. Okay, scammed. 15%. Can't get scammed forever, right? Okay, fair enough. Actually. Welp. Way she goes, boys. Surplus! Oh my god, we actually got it. Watch me get a double surplus again and extend the run. Again. Triple whole room, by the way. My goodness. Also, how's it going, Arcbert? Never punished, by the way. Game stresses me out, but the way you deal with enemies is so funny to me. I can't say I'm too scared of the enemy encounters in the game anymore. I do play cautiously though, because, you know, at some point games like this turn from being scary because I'm in a scary situation to I'm scared that the run's gonna end because I don't perform a certain way. But it's just, once it gets to that point, it's just a matter of not panicking when stuff arises. Never punished except all those times when I was punished, right? How are the runs? This run is going a lot longer than I anticipated, but it's because I've gotten a few more surpluses than I thought I would, including this one. So it looks like I'm probably going to go at least for one more cycle after this, so long as I don't throw like intensely here. But I'm playing in a way where it's going to be really hard to throw. And I'm going to keep it that way. Because the whole point of playing like this is to show that it's a viable way to play. And that it's viable solo also. Was there a bit of RNG involved? Absolutely, but, you know, RNG is a little bit baked into this game a bit more than people might want to admit. The RNG is when you encounter the enemies and what loot rooms you get, and also the size of the map. But then, you know, once the enemies are on the map, it gets a bit more consistent from that point onward. You know, once I know a Ventress is after me, the game plan's the same. If I know I'm pincered between two enemies, don't run into the spider. Stuff like that. Don't try to stunlight the spider because it's the only enemy that can't be stunlighted. Pretty sure there's a fire barrel here, or else I'm cooked. Goes from a horror game to a strategy game, right? Arcade looter, almost, even. Have you used your tech to remember how to get back in all other maps? What is your tech for tunnels and how to get back? It's the same still. It's still tile recognition, tile orientation. It's just that the tiles start in the hallways, not in the rooms. Which was something that I had to wrap my head around. So like, for example, this room right here is always going to be open on the right side from the hallway that you enter it from. So if I walk into this room, I know that to go back, I walk through this room right here. This room is always connected to this single room that's on the left. So the tile actually starts right here when you walk this way. So you have the loot room on your left, that loot room on your right that sometimes leads into progress. You'll have the snow area right in front and sometimes progress on the left from there. It's all just still tile orientation. This room, always a double loot room right here. You always enter it from here. There's gonna be shelves right there. Sometimes there's progress there. Sometimes there's a fire barrel here. There's always an electric door right here. Locker, desk, shelves. Sometimes a door right there. It's still all tile orientation. This fire barrel right here is always on the left of this square hole that is in the hallway with the snow with the light leading into it. And yeah, the triple hole room, always gonna be on the left of the cell, behind a door that you can't see through. Sometimes there's a fire barrel there. Then it enters into this three-way hallway, or I guess four-way if you include where you came from. Sometimes there's a fire barrel right there. So if you come back into a room like this and you see this, then you know that to go back, you go through the door and to the right. And yeah. It's still the same strategy. It's just a matter of memorizing the tunnel tiles. Which you can only do if you play tunnels. And once we started learning the tunnel tiles, that's when tunnels became a lot more viable. And when our strategy went from playing hotel and hospital primarily to hospital and tunnels, and only playing hotel on an emergency. Main reason why I stay away from tunnels is getting lost, right? It's a mixture of getting lost and also it being super dangerous still. Like you can have all the tile orientation and knowledge in the world, but if you can't survive like the monster encounter or deal with getting pincered between two enemies in a hallway, you know, that's gonna kill most people. But that's why I run the stun light. Because the stun light can stun every enemy except the spider. And it's in a 20 meter range, which is 5 meters farther than a Shambler can detect players. So it's a really far stun. Can't stun the spider though, so if I get pincered between the spider and the other enemy, I have to time it so that I stun the other enemy and run through that. Because running through the spider is not an option, unless I stun it with a door. Which is why I don't like kicking doors down, because spider is a run ender just by existing. And I'd rather have doors to deal with spiders. Or sometimes, you know, if you don't have the stun light and you're in between a butcher and a spider, just take the hit from the butcher, it's worth it. If you're in between a Forsaken and a spider, take the hit from the Forsaken, it's worth it. If you're in between a Ventress and a spider, go down to the Ventress. It's better than being cocooned. Have an adrenaline on you. And make sure that as many people as possible are on the same page. So you can go to tunnels, and if you bring back 4,000 but everyone else dies on your squad and they went in with inventories worth 600, you're often not coming out positive. Which is why I think for a lot of squads, tunnels isn't worth it. But if you have like a squad that can of people who can actually play tunnels well, or is down to learn to play it well, that's where you start seeing the return on tunnels, and tunnels becomes a lot more rewarding after that. I actually really enjoy tunnels now too. When tunnels first came out, you know, people weren't the biggest fans of it, at least among the playtesters, because of how hard it was and how easy hospital was and profitable it was. But man, you can come out positive on tunnels, it is a good feeling. Oh my god. Jesus. I almost just died from negligence. I think it's because I've played a lot of Hospital too. I think Tunnels is a lot more interesting. Hospital is kind of free. Which is good for the runs, but damn, it gets kind of repetitive. Which is why I'm very excited for Bunker. Because then we're going to have, like, ideally 3 viable maps that we can kind of switch between. And I do like that this game, it's not just you play on one map for the entire run. That was something that I just couldn't really get behind in Lethal Company, which is really funny because a lot of my high quota runs now are in the single moon category, which is exactly that. But you know, that's the whole reason why I came up with the Iron Man challenge in the first place. I wanted a way to experience everything that the game had to offer, not just like the 2 most profitable places. That said, you know, we do switch between the 2 because they're the 2 most popular places, but at least there's variety throughout the run. And then Bunker is going to add 3, and I think switching between 3 and playing them well is more than good enough, you know. Have a good night, Harmonica. Now, this will most likely be the last cycle, unless I get another surplus. So, I think I'm just going to roll for surplus here. There's no real point in me getting a crazy amount. Well, okay, I can look at the first few rooms at least, because maybe getting 3,500 will be better than getting 4,000 on a surplus day, depending on the generation that I get. We can at least check the first few loot rooms and see if I get anything. Triple hole room. This is another reason why I wanted to do tunnels only as well, because not a crazy amount of people play tunnels. So maybe if people watch this run where I'm only playing on tunnels, they can at least have an opportunity to recognize some of the tiles before they go to tunnels themselves. But I mean, if not from watching my videos, you know, you can go to play Tunnels Escape. You can't escape on tunnels currently. I'm pretty sure escape mode does not work on tunnels, but you can at least play it. You can try doing single day clears on tunnels with a lantern. I think that's still valuable, with a focus on tile orientation and using only doors and hiding spaces, getting used to the fire barrel timings and stuff. So that way when you do eventually go to tunnels on a real run, you'll have at least some experience and recognition. Every little bit helps. Like even this is for my own sake as well. Maybe I'll be a bit more comfortable on tunnels after this. I'd say I'm pretty comfortable on tunnels already though. Can't say I've played a lot of solo Forsaken tunnels, however. Unlocked. This might be a very anticlimactic end to this run, y'all. Let's see if we get a loot room over here. I think we're gonna get the 3-piece hole on the... No, this is... Yeah, the 3-piece hole on the left. Drawer and a locker. Valve and an MRE. Sure. We won't greed too hard. I could have spawned the Ventress there from running. Doesn't matter what I get here. I mean, I guess I could maximize the amount of debt paid by greeting a little bit. Okay, I don't get it, unfortunately. I mean, it was a good run anyway. We'll get a little bit just to pad our stats a little bit. Make this run a little bit harder to beat. Make the score slightly more respectable. But I think we've gone on a somewhat decent run here. Drill. We loot this and go home. $153. And gone. Since it's over anyway. I would rather secure this extra 500. I'm not gonna play Pentagon either. I'd rather keep it a pure what's it called? A pure tunnels only run. So we lose our run at day 21. I'm not even gonna add the extra day from Pentagon, which would be day 22. We paid off $1,713,500, which is the equivalent of $17,135 in actual scrap value. And I think that is a decent tunnels only run. Whether or not I do this again, we'll see. Might be worth a shot when the minimum remaining value is increased to 25 from 15, but I also like the idea that Esky brought up of the 25% Iron Man. So definitely expect a lot of challenge runs when V1400 drops. Make sure to join the Made in Fairyland Discord if you aren't in there already to keep track of updates. I'll actually drop a link to that right now, actually. So if anyone wants to join the Made in Fairyland Discord, click on that link right to there. And keep an eye out for when the public beta drops. I don't know when it's going to drop, I just know that it's going to be soon, so just kind of keep an eye out for that. when a new update drops, the patch notes channel always updates. You can add the patch notes channel to your own channels if you would like. And yeah, that's it for the Tunnels Only run. Thanks everyone for tuning in. More Forsaken Frontiers at some point.